fucking took you 30 minutes to get our order, you know?
Yeah.
It was nice, like, and she's doing it like behind her face.
So it's almost as if you've lost the purpose for why you're doing it in the first place, and so it loses its meaningfulness now. You know, if it's expected, it's like, I don't know what else I can do to show you if you did good or not, because this is part of the payment now, right? And I get asked on my platform often when they say, so what's your biggest tip? So I'll say, I understand what you're asking. You're asking what's the biggest amount I've been paid, but I'll tell you what that is. But that doesn't reflect for me what the true essence of tipping for me is. For me, tipping, yeah, you can show it monetarily, but what about those who can't show it monetarily, but they still want to show you their appreciation? For me, what tipping looks like is the social exchange. And this is like, for me personally, now it's not for everyone, but for me personally, it's along the lines of saying, how can I express to you in whichever way I have accessible, whether it's money-wise or whether it's even by way of saying, thank you for the amazing service. That's an amazing expression of a tip. You're going out of your way to express something, and you maybe would love to have more ways of showing it, but just because you couldn't show it monetarily, it doesn't delegitimize the expression of appreciation, right? So the very heart of it, it's a question of what kind of expression can you convey that still relates? And for those who are saying, no, it's only in this category, you almost are saying to someone, a fellow human being, that you reject their kudos, their acknowledgement of, hey, this is above and beyond, right? So that's something else that's, I consider at least that way.
Oh, you're 100% right, yeah.
In which case it means that we have to do a change in our mind of what the expectation looks like. I was talking to another immigrant lady. She is here maybe like a few months. Her English is really, she's working her way through it, but I used to be an English teacher, so we were just having a good conversation. The very heart of it I told her is, you could speak really well like even Canadians here. They understand English really well, and yet they still struggle in the communication because they don't know how to be able to catch the nuance of how you're conveying ideas and thoughts and feelings. You could do it really poorly, or you could do it really well. You could take really awful quality English and still convey your heart in a beautiful way, as opposed to speaking like a poet and yet being able to miss how to make someone feel really well. You know what I'm saying?
100% right.
So again, it's just the very heart of what's the important part. Exactly.
Some people are good at expressing their feelings and how they feel.
Especially guys.
Yeah.
Especially guys in this culture.
Guys are better at expressing how they feel.
No, I would disagree with you. In this culture here, brother, I would disagree with you for the following reason. In this culture here, I think the women have more access to their feelings. It's a feminine trait to be able to talk about your feelings and your heart. And females do it really well. Guys have grown up in a context here socially where you have to show bravado. You know, we're strong. We don't cry. We got it down. We don't show emotion. So they've really cut out this helpful element of saying, here's how we really feel, brother. Instead of doing that, you're called a sissy for that. You're called a wuss. You're called a pussy for that. You know, there's many ways that they say, man up, be strong, be. That's not what's considered.
Brother, the same argument can be said about females.
Okay, how so?
Because, so when I'm in university right now.
Yeah.
You will never see it like girls go out of their way when they're sober. To show weakness. Because when girls show weakness, they show that they're easy to manipulate, easy to take advantage of. That's just a human trait. Humans don't like to show weakness because they show vulnerability.
Right. And so people are guarded against that to strangers, but not with their closest friends. Now consider a group of close girlfriends. They've earned that vulnerability with one another in a way that close guy friends rarely show that.
Oh, 100%.
So that's what, but I totally agree with your point. Absolutely.
When it comes to like a female and male interaction, the male will, it's more likely that a male will open up more than the female does.
I can see that.
Because the male doesn't have anything to worry about. Yeah. Or he thinks he has nothing to worry about because he's still a male, you know? So that's why I said males are easier to open up. They open up a little bit more than females do, especially in this day and age. Yeah. But there is the rare occasion, you know, you can't really get an exact, you know, like stat on like ethics and like social interactions these days.
That's what I watch over like a bird's eye view, if possible. So I've been here for maybe over three decades now. I've really enjoyed watching the culture carefully. When I first came here, I struggled the first few years in understanding how do I connect and make friends? How do I connect in such a way where I can feel like I'm a part of the community? That was a difficult thing. That's why I still care about immigrants coming in saying, what can I tell them to help them break through that barrier? Because no one's going to tell them this. You either understand it or you don't. And if you don't understand it, you're on the outside kind of thing, right? But I've had a fantastic time watching and studying this culture very well, to the point that I would probably argue that I understand this culture better than those who are natively from here, because I've had to learn it ground up. In doing so, I've identified those expressions that I say, this is unhelpful, this is toxic, this is a really bad expression here. And then I try to think, why would I say this about this? And how could I reason with those from here to be able to say, this is not a helpful thing, you need to change your perspective on this, for example, right? And so one of those things that I love doing is breaking the rules in this culture with purpose. I enjoy breaking the rules because it helps put others into a thoughtful perspective, but I have to do that carefully, because if I do it incorrectly, I will be shunned or I'll be excluded, I'll be ostracized from the community, right? So how to do it in a way that draws forth more interest from those who are like, wait, why do I feel this way? What kind of questions would be really helpful to get to that level in essence, right?
Kind of drawing attention.
Absolutely. And then being able to propose something different. And so that's why I love watching from the stereotypical way. It's not to say that everyone's this way, but that's why I ask questions when I see something a little bit different, saying, well, why are you different when everyone does this or thinks this way or operates this way, right? And those who are already part of that mold, I'd say, here's what I'm struggling with to understand why you think this way or do this way, which maybe I'd love to hear from their perspective, because I might be missing something along the way. But
yeah,
here's another way to ask it. In your Iraqi culture, you've been here for some time now. I would say in my Ethiopian culture, I've identified things in my culture that I'm saying, I don't like this expression, this is not helpful, but these other ones are good. I want to apply the good ones, reject the bad ones. In the same way, in the Canadian context, I've done the same thing. Here's some things in the Canadian culture that are beautiful, fantastic. Here's other expressions that I'm like, this is terrible. What would you say in your culture Canadians would do really well to say, we want to do this like the Iraqi people, because they do it really well? Well, what's the thing that...
More family oriented. We are way more oriented than I feel like.
I see that.
Us growing up in our culture, like I say, at least for a male, even females, they don't leave their parents' house until they get married.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's when you move out.
Okay.
Here at 18, you leave the house. You know.
Yeah.
Some kids even move out before 18.
Sure.
Like I'll tell you, my brother's got married yesterday. He's getting a new place, he's moving out. We're all living under the same roof, you know?
Yeah.
That is very normal.
Yeah.
Even back home, all my friends still live with their family. Here, if you're like 21, 28, you live with your parents, like, well, dude, what are you doing? You know,
right.
Like, that's just not normal.
Right.
But for us, it's completely normal.
Yeah.
You know? And then, that's something different that they don't do here.
Yeah.
And us, I guess, back home, that we do something that is good, I guess. Equality could be improved.
They can learn from this culture here.
To a certain extent, equality can be improved. I wouldn't say between male and female, as you know.
Sure.
Yeah, that we definitely.
How difficult is it to propose those shifts or changes to the old guard in your home context?
The old generation is different than the newer generation. Newer generation with the internet and the new applications, Tinder, Snapchat, Instagram. Bro, in 10 years time, this whole world as we see will change.
Absolutely, I can see that.
Now my little brother, 18 years old, now girls here, there, Tinder, Snapchat, all these girls are acting like they look at them, they look like they're 18,
right?
But they look like they're 25. You know, the way they dress and the pictures they post. It's completely different than when I grew up.
Right.
You know? And I'm sure 100% different when you grew up. You know.
I know.
You're 40, I'm 27. You're like a generation behind me. You know. And my generation, we didn't have any of that. Like growing up in school, I remember having the BlackBerry. Just that's me in high school. You know, now with iPhone and pictures, sending news, it's just completely different ballgame.
Absolutely.
And look, just think of that in 10 years time, where the technology is going, where the world is going to go. You know, and I can't even begin to imagine. Yeah. Now it's like, even with COVID, even dating has completely changed. For the last year and a half, no one's been going out. What the fuck were people doing for the last year and a half? You know, and how you meet people? What was the person that planned to get married, meet a girl. That always stopped for a year and a half, and everybody went digital. Everybody's dating online now, you know. So it's like it just opened a whole complete
world.
The world.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you agree with your brother?
Yeah. I do. I do think one thing though is that our culture doesn't know. Is kind of like more. They don't have really an open mind towards a lot of things.
I see.
They're kind of more the way I grew up is the way I will raise my kids.
Right.
You know? They don't like to deviate from their
tradition,
family orientation. Whereas like Canadian culture is always just a roll of die. You know? Whatever you get, you get. You know?
Right.
Some children will be raised very strict and be very good.
Sure.
And within the same family, you could see children that are just not cared for, etc.
Same family, same culture, raised completely different ways. You know, like I have friends that their parents are so anti-dating and drinking and going out. But me, with my parents, were like, we're going to the bar and having drinks and stuff. Oh, I met this girl. My parents are really cool and open-minded, and it's very nice. We're like friends, you know. It's not like
you're my dad.
It's like me or our father is just very friendly. I'm super honest with him. Tell him as is. Amazing. He's honest with me. You know? But I have other friends who are not. Far from.
And from the same culture.
Same culture, bro.
So even differences expressed in that same culture.
I mean, the same culture is different. You know?
One thing that we Arabic culture has that Western culture doesn't is hospitality.
So true. I've seen that too.
Hospitality is something that
you don't hold back on.
Yeah, like in Arab culture and other cultures too.
I've seen that too.
You don't really see it as much in like Western culture just because it's pretty rare. But I can tell you, like, if you went to a shop and you spoke Ethiopian with someone who you're coming with, and the man